LA, but we did get our first look at another guy who plays here in Los Angeles. Skinny Luka on the floor. Luka 2.0. He debuted for Slovenia in an exhibition game. This was a Eurobasket tune-up here, Shanae. But we got to see what new look Luka is capable of. Connects on three. That's something we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I was saying, those shots ain't new. The floaters, the off the glass, the finesse. I do think he's going to have to deal with, like, maybe a little bit more muscle because, you know, when you're lighter, you move a little different. But right here, those moves are timeless. Timeless step through.
I believe that Perk would call that the slippery eel.
Yes.
Right there as he makes his way inside with a nice finish there. Crafty from Luka. And then again out in transition here, Luka pulls up for three, just checking that range.
That's not fair. You just got to guard him after half court, but it's all good. He's just getting warmed up. He's just getting warmed up.
And then Doncic gets it again here. Gets this one to go.
Nice.
Slovenia would lose, but Doncic, he had 19 points, 5 assists in just 24 minutes in this game. So, yeah, I think that Luka is going to be just fine. Again, this was just a tune-up here for Slovenia. As we say hello to our resident big man, Kendrick Perkins. Perk, were you impressed by our first look at Luka? This new look Luka?
I don't want to be that guy today.
Start.
You know what I mean? Y'all bringing positive energy. Look, dude, is Luka in shape? Absolutely. But we know Luka out of shape is a walking bucket. I'm sorry. I just don't want to see the offensive highlights. I need to see a Luka Doncic that's sprinting up the floor. I need to see a Luka Doncic that's sliding those puppies at a high level. I got a little breakdown right here, Shanae. Malika, y'all can see it right here. Here it go. Yeah, I got a little breakdown for y'all. Here it go right here. This is the stuff that I'm talking about that the people, the fans, us are going to be watching. Again, the second effort, the third effort, the first effort, getting over the screen, lack of communication defensively. Like this the Luka I want to see, okay? After a turnover happens right here, he drives the ball, they turn it over. I want to see a Luka on his high horse sprinting back on defense. That's the Luka I want to see. We know he can score buckets. He averaged 28 and he was fat and out of shape last year. In shape, we know he's going to score the ball at a high level, but damn it, we need to see it in other areas, especially the areas that don't show up in the stat sheet.
I don't want to knock him for summer hoops right now.
Exhibition summer hoops.
Exhibition. He knows he's going to have to be fresh in November, in January, and hopefully in June. I think it's good, Perk, because first you got to know you have a problem. And when you have a problem, you're like, okay, I probably need to get in shape. And all of a sudden, he's a cover guy, right? Like Men's Health, that's great. He's trimmed down, and now he's going to refine the pieces. Because if you see right there, that shot ain't going nowhere. But now figuring out, like I watched the plays, and yeah, his passing was elite. That's what I'm talking about right here. That vision, you can't teach that. You can't teach transforming your body overnight when you're in an NBA postseason run.
Yeah.
And so the steps, we're starting to see the steps that he's starting to understand the criticism. We knew when he lost in the NBA Finals, this would be the opportunity for him to sort of bounce back. Now you have the magnifier of being in Los Angeles, and now we're starting to see the progress. Perk, respectfully, chill. Let's keep a cool booty. Let's keep a cool booty. He gonna get there.
I apologize first. I said I didn't want to be that guy.
Because that's how apologies work. You preemptively apologize. Perk, weren't you the one who said that you think that this is the MVP year for Luka Doncic? I'm not saying he needs to win that in one exhibition game for Slovenia, but did you see maybe some of the beginnings, the very, very base groundwork here?
I do, and the fact that he's even playing basketball at this moment, you got to give him a nod, right? I always say in order to get in basketball shape, you should play a lot of basketball. Luka said it himself that this was the first time that he actually put down the basketball and actually got in the weight room. So again, Shanae, Malika, y'all right. He is just scratching the surface. I believe come training camp time, we're going to see the best version of Luka. We're going to see a locked-in Luka. Because in Luka's words, when he came down and signed his contract extension, he said he wants to win it all in a Laker uniform, but he wants to win it now.
Can I tell you two things I do love about this, though, Perk? One is that Greg St. Jean, who is currently an assistant coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, he's coaching in Slovenia now for their team. So they have that on-the-ground presence from the Lakers, making sure to help Luka through this transition. And secondly, Luka was asked about, they don't have, right, making sure that they have somebody there. And then Luka also said they don't necessarily have all of their best complement of players out there right now because there's some other guys who were supposed to be playing for Slovenia who aren't because of some stuff that's going on with their regular teams. And Luka said, well, if I play for the Lakers and they're letting me be out here, then maybe everyone else should be allowed to too. So it does seem like there's a slight psyche change here. This I also loved. In case y'all missed this, Luka, he got himself some new wheels. I got a new car recently, Shanae.
Oh, you did?
We went through this for a couple of months, and now I drive a new one. And when you get a new car, you got to be real careful about where you park it, because it's a little difficult. You can't control who parks next to your $2 million vehicle, or, you know, our
He can't get in?
He can't get in.
Oh!
and that's a Maybach look like that's blocking them.
But honestly, isn't that car that has the doors that open up? Like, should it be? You know what I mean?
He said he's got to call someone. Married his wife Haley Caruso this weekend. His Thunder teammates showed up, but wait for it. Oh. We got some questions, Chet. Standing out, the white, the red, the gold chains, Scarface vibes. Perk, would you wear this, sir?
Absolutely, and that's how you step out in great fashion. And look, when it comes to 7-footers, Chet, Wemby, and Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., they're on the top of the list when it comes down to making fashion statements. I love 7-footers who got swag.
I just wonder if you're not the groom, is it like the bride wearing white? I just didn't know if there's a rule or not, but you know what? Whatever it is, he is fully doing it. Next up, this isn't a fashion statement, but we do have his teammate, the Finals MVP, celebrating back in his hometown. Check this out. The Hamilton Tiger Cats of the CFL, the Canadian Football League, they honored Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at their last game, and he brought the Larry O'Brien trophy. He was also given a key to the city, Shanae.
Wow.
So SGA, he took just about every basketball award there is over the last 3 months. What can he possibly do to top that now?
I don't know, honestly. Maybe come out with a song, because I know his IG posts are straight up lyrics, so like the victory lap type of situation. But we're living in his world right now.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's going to have to get a doctorate, like honorary doctorate.
Dr. SGA.
Dr. SGA. Next, the Clippers. They added some big pieces this offseason. We mean that literally, including John Collins. He got a first look at his new locker room. And you can check out, we see the highlights here, but I'm hoping we can show you that his next door neighbor is going to be Derrick Jones Jr., a.k.a. Airplane Mode. Two of the best lob threats in the league.
Yeah.
Collins dubbed them as the Bounce Bros. Perk, do we like the nickname Bounce Bros? There they are in the locker room.
I'm all in on it. You know why? That means they have turned the page and they have moved on from Lob City, and now you have the Bounce Bros, because with James Harden, CP3, and those two brothers right there, John Collins and Derrick Jones Jr., it's going to be a lot of alley-oops and a lot of dunks.
All right, the Bounce Bros is here to stay for now. Next up, Lakers forward Rui Hachimura. He was testing out a unique training style this summer. He's back in his home country of Japan, and he was working out with some sumo wrestlers, Shanae. Will this translate to the basketball court, and should you and I add this to our workout routine?
Absolutely not is the answer for us. And yeah, I mean, these guys are having a good time trying to train in unique ways. I see a lot of people doing Pilates. We've seen what Victor Wembanyama has been doing, visiting the monks, and also Kevin Garnett. And I guess we just have to add this to the list. Stay low. That's good defensive stance. Yeah.
Look at that stance. He's
Clearly they're powerful. Perk, would you do this? Do you think you could take down a sumo wrestler?
Can we get Perk in the outfit?
I'm working on that stance. I gotta work to get in that stance. Give me another month.
We need to get you one of the outfits, Perk. All right, let's check in on number one pick Cooper Flagg. What's he up to with his summer? Well, his summer camp is underway, the University of Maine. Age, height, no issue. He's throwing down poster dunks on literally everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Perk, do you expect more of this from Flagg when the opponents are maybe a little bigger?
No, he's a competitor. If you step on the floor, this is what he's going to do to you. It's just in his blood. Sorry, young man. That's what I did to my campers. You got to get them while they down, while they young. Take advantage of them.
That's what I did too, right? No shot is safe. I block and swat everybody's shots for the young kids.
The problem is now, Perk, are they getting you back for that? You may have noticed a Western theme here as we ran through some players' summer vacations. So let's play a little elevator pitch. We're going to take a deeper dive into the conference. So this is last year's standings. For the purpose of this discussion, we're going to zoom in on the teams that were left out of the playoffs, maybe. Sacramento, Dallas, Phoenix, Portland, San Antonio, New Orleans, and Utah. That's where we'll start the discussion at least. Perk, who do you believe is going to elevate into the playoffs this season when you look at their offseason moves?
Y'all know sometimes, a lot of times, I eavesdrop and listen to vanity conversation.
Queen's
when she on the phone with her friends, and she be saying stuff like, baby, honey, child, listen. Y'all listen to this. Here's the thing. I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm looking at the Spurs and I'm looking at Victor Wembanyama. It is time. We're talking about when you start comparing them and saying the greatest prospect since LeBron James was Victor third year. LeBron James third year, he took that leap and got into the postseason. And when you look at what the Spurs has done, they have surrounded him with some nice pieces. You look at a De'Aaron Fox who just signed a contract extension. We know what he could bring to the table, all-star level type play. Harrison Barnes, a 3-and-D guy at the wing position. They did really well in the draft. You got some nice young pieces with an evil genius in their new head coach. I'm looking at the Spurs and Wemby to go out here and make some noise and move up in this Western Conference and for them to get in the postseason.
Perk, it's always a good day when you mention your better half, Queen Vanity. And by the way, congratulations. I saw all the pictures.
Oh, yeah, happy anniversary.
Summertime, happy anniversary to you guys. My squad, you know where we're from. You, me, Van, from Texas, and I'm going to stay there and stand on it.
Didn't
we already
Perk
know.
Also stay in Texas?
Yeah, that's the point. Like, we're keeping it in the family here. We're keeping it in the family. And everyone knows that I'm going to pick the Rockets naturally, but I want to pivot actually to Dallas because I feel like some people might be looking past them, especially given Kyrie Irving, his lack of availability due to injury. But still, their starting lineup is going to be solid. I mean, adding D'Lo there, who's a professional point guard. You've got Cooper freaking Flag joining, which is going to help bring that positivity back to the city. And then, has anyone had a better summer maybe than Klay Thompson? Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, all that type of stuff. Going back out there, knocking down shots. You have Gafford and Lively maintained. This is going to be one of the biggest groups. And of course, helming it on the interior is Anthony Davis. And so I'm looking at the Mavs. You know, they were not good last year, obviously fizzled out, but then maybe finding that continuity, especially as they try to buy time until Kyrie comes back.
One of the games that I'm definitely going to have circled when the schedule comes out later this week is when Anthony Davis returns to Los Angeles, because we still haven't gotten to see that game yet. He was hurt the last time around, so we didn't get to see him play. I know I gave the stipulation of teams that didn't make the playoffs, but I think you guys have that covered. I think that a team that was already great last year, that I think has the potential to get even better, go with me here, guys. What about the Denver Nuggets? I really like bringing in Cam Johnson here for Michael Porter Jr. They have a true backup center in Valanciunas. You're bringing Bruce Brown back. Their first-round pick from 2024 is actually going to be able to play. Remember, he was out all of last year. And this is the team that took the defending champs to 7 games. And Isaiah Hartenstein said this was the most difficult, as you see him there, trying to guard Nikola Jokic, the most difficult, the scariest series they ever faced. If we're looking at teams that aren't just going to make the playoffs, but have the ability to maybe even take it to OKC, I'm looking at Denver as that group. The West, though, Shanae, I think you got it super wild. So we're in the middle of August, Shanae, and the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young, they still haven't reached an agreement on an extension. Remember, he's been eligible since July for a 4-year, $229 million deal. Our Shams Charania has reported that the Hawks, they wanted to maintain flexibility, seeing what this team is before making those commitments to Trae. But it feels like we kind of know what this team is now.
Yeah, we do.
We also know who Trae Young is, right? And a lot of that is outside of Young's control, but it's something that the Hawks brass could factor in here as we say hello to Mr. Money Moves, our front office insider, Bobby Marks. Barbie, we just keep hearing about flexibility. The Hawks want flexibility. What does that mean, and why is it keeping them from signing Trae to this extension, at least so far?
Well, there's a couple of things here, Malika. I think the flexibility starts with the newness of this roster. I think although it looks good on paper, we still don't know how good this Atlanta team potentially could be when you look at a new front office in Ansel Soleil, their GM, Kristaps Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard. Certainly when you integrate Trae Young into that, they also have a decision to make with Dyson Daniels, who's also rookie extension eligible. So I think if you're willing to commit long-term, what does this roster exactly look like? I think you want a better feel. Remember, Trae Young is extension eligible till next June 30th, for $229 million. And then, Malik, I think from Trae Young's perspective, you're looking at this Atlanta team that's projected to finish 4th per ESPN bet in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
And you're saying, wait a minute, I'm looking at the market we've got potentially 10 teams. We've got a third of next year's teams that have cap space here. Am I willing to commit long term if I'm not liking where the price is right now? So I think this is going to be a slow play as far as where both sides are going to go. I do think there's a middle ground as far as reaching that commitment here, but I do think from Atlanta's perspective, you're looking, wait a minute, let's see how this roster fits before we're willing to commit long term to Trae Young.
Really quick, Bobby, it's unlikely if they don't reach an extension by the time the season starts. It's unlikely that we'll see this play out during the season. That would likely signify a pause button. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah, I mean, you never say never here,
Right.
but I think what you would like, from a player's perspective, you want to take care of your business before the season starts. You don't want to have negotiations. A little bit different than Jimmy Butler last year in Golden State, but you don't want extension talks during the regular season. That's something to happen after the season concludes.
Yeah, you would never want that type of extension tension, Perk. When you're looking at this for Trae Young, do you think this is a mistake that the Hawks are making by not offering him that max extension right now?
I do, because I mean, what else is out there that you're going to get for us being an upgrade from Trae Young? You just highlighted what he's been doing every year as far as his assists, and he's averaging 25 for his career. He's on like one could say or argue that he's having a Hall of Fame type career if you look at the numbers, and now you actually have the pieces around him that complements Trae Young. Jalen Johnson, who I'm very high on. You have pesky wing defenders with Lit. You go and get Alexander Walker, who can provide that scoring off the bench or in the starting lineup. You get Luke Kennard, who is a knockdown shooter, and you look at what Trae brings to the table. He makes everybody around him better. So going to get his 25 and getting about 10 to 11 assists a night, what else are you going to go out there and get at that position? I believe that the Hawks need to get this done.
And Perk, you said it. If you look at the numbers, and speaking of those assists, because everyone comes in and thinks, oh, Trae, he's a scoring point guard. But with the new coach and the new players, he's been asked to do more passing. I don't know if we have the graphic. Here it is. Thank you so much, J. Joe and our amazing producers here. Every year of his career, he has upped his assist numbers. So he's evolving his game, not just relying on the shot, the deep range, but look, starting at 8 all the way up to 11.6, constantly pressuring the best point guards in the association when it comes to the top of the categories of leading the league in assists and also points overall generated when you add his scoring. And I believe that this is an opportunity season for the Hawks, because if you look at the landscape of the East, Celtics, Bucks, Pacers, Philly, how do we feel about those squads? Maybe there's some question marks there. You look at Detroit, Orlando, they're on the rise.
Right.
But this is a team that is led by a veteran who has experience and who has evolved his game in some ways. And it's also like the identity of the Hawks. Like, if you don't maintain Trae, like, that's a big choice. That's a big gamble in a year where your team, if you play well, you can end up getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think that man, he deserves, he earns his money.
And Malika, what do I always say that the great Kevin Garnett always used to tell me? You remember?
The one that's fit for TV or the one that's not fit for TV?
Anything is possible?
No, don't worry about it. Listen, he always look at young great players to see if they're able to go out there and get theirs and make others around them better. Shanae highlighting that chart, he's getting his and making guys around him better.
This feels like a roster, when you look at stars around the league right now, that this is tailor-made for their star in Trae Young, more so than a lot of them that we're seeing. And we actually got to see a glimpse of Kristaps. Lauri Markkanen is on his third team with the Utah Jazz, and that has Utah has been really his most productive when you look at his numbers. He won Most Improved in 2023. He was an all-star. With the Jazz, they have firmly said, nope. Right now, even though we're in the midst of a rebuild, we don't have the right offer on the table. So, Bobby, Markkanen's been a bit of a topic, as Shanae has been really covert in alluding to over the last couple of minutes. What kind of market is actually out there for a player of his skill set? 7 foot, can shoot? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's amazing how things kind of changed a year ago. Remember, we were talking about Lauri Markkanen, that date we had circled as far as to renegotiate and extend as far as when he could become trade eligible, and he was not trade eligible last year. He's entering year 1 of this max contract right now. I think from Utah's perspective, yes, there is a market for him. But I do think when you look at this roster, and it is extremely young as far as what the Jazz are going to do, they need good players, right? They need to eventually turn the script a little bit as far as how they start building this roster out. Collecting draft picks, which they have 11 first in the next 7 years, that is great. But I do think marketing can be a building block to build this around moving forward.
I don't disagree. He's talented, but also, like, this is a long game type of situation. We'll see how long. It's hard to keep players happy when they're in that type of circumstance year and year and year.
I believe Austin Ainge is going to hold on to him like a conversation. I really do. I agree with Bobby and Chanae. But but Bobby, let me ask you this. Could it be a possibility that he end up in Boston? Maybe Boston take a look at him. They lost Kristaps Porzingis. They lost Al Horford. I mean,
you know, Perk, Boston is interesting to me. I know we've talked a lot about how much money they've saved, over $300 million. But eventually they have to start adding pieces and look at that 2026 season. They've got that Anthony Simons expiring contract, which is roughly $27 million. They've got a 6 first-round picks. Certainly they can include this year's pick. That's the type of player that fits if you're trying to take that gap year and then also add a piece for next offseason when Jason Tatum gets back.
This sounds like a challenge that the Utah Jazz are going to have to try to figure out here over the next couple of months. They are seeing Lauri Markkanen is entering the first of a 4-year deal where he's making nearly $50 million a year, so it's not exactly like it would be cheap to be able to move him. But speaking of issues, of problems, of challenges that players around the league have had to face, did y'all see this? Tyrese Maxey, we're with you.
And normally, Chef helps me use the can opener for my dogs. Well, tell me what I need to do. Somebody on here, help me out. Show me how to work this thing.
There needs to be some pressure when you
some
put
tension.
Yeah, you got to just
you
snap it onto
down,
the side of the can.
Then crank.
Although some are more difficult than others.
It's true. Yeah,
Mark, could you have handled that one?
Absolutely, but I'm just trying to figure out what kind of dog do we have, right? What happened to the dry dog food that come in the bag that you...
Okay, a sister of our friend Shanae Agumake, Nneka Agumake, thank you as always for stopping by, the 10-time All-Star and champion herself. We really appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me. You know I love spending time with you guys.
We love it too. Shanae ran off to go prepare something. She's going to be back in just a second. But Nneka, you moved up to 6th all-time, which is pretty incredible on the all-time scoring list. Plenty of spots still within reach. How does that feel to know that you're continuing to climb that ladder?
I mean, it feels like I've been playing a long time, that's for sure. But I'm very grateful and, of course, incredibly so to be able to do it in a Storm jersey.
Well, let's talk about the Storm then, because your Storm are in the midst of a little bit of a tough skid, but you all added Brittany Sykes, Slim, to the squad, dropped 27 last night here in LA. What are you guys focusing on as you're trying to get prepared for the playoffs? Because I think this is sort of the best time of the regular season right now.
No, I mean, I can't disagree with you on that. This is the best time. Everyone's trying to, of course, punch their ticket, but then also find momentum going into the playoff standings. Right now, I think, of course, adding Slim was amazing, and understanding what we can do to make sure that we make the small plays. I think right now we've had a stretch of games where we're making really big plays, but keeping those small plays in perspective for us to come out on top is what we're trying to focus on.
Right, those daily habits, those daily vitamins and deposits that you're trying to just make sure that you're zeroing in on, and that'll translate again to wins. Nneka, you impress me for so many different reasons, but one of them is the many, many hats that you wear. And I'm hoping that you can put on your WNBA PA president's hat for just a moment here, because there's been so much conversation, right, about this bargaining agreement and what your priorities are. And I would love to just hear directly from you, the players. What are you all looking to accomplish here between now and the end of October?
I mean, one, we're looking to have another successful season, you know, including the playoffs, and using that momentum and a lot of the progress and growth that we've seen, of course, with the biggest help of our fans, to be able to come out and negotiate an agreement that reflects our value.
And Nneka, when you look at these talks, if they land in the right place, where do you see the WNBA and players in the next 5 years? Because really that's what all of this is about. It's about continuing to grow the game and making sure that players get a piece of that.
Absolutely. I mean, I see the player share growing with the growth of this league. You know, we're seeing, I mean, exponential growth at the team level, at the league level, of course, with the fan support, and that's all kind of heading in the direction that we've seen the future of this league growing. And there's no better way than to have that represented in the foundation of this league, which are the players. And I see that happening not just in the next 5 years, but in the very near future, especially coming out of the CBA negotiation.
Well, Nneka, I think I speak for many when I say I don't know that there's anyone better to be at the helm of these conversations than you. I really appreciate that insight. So when we were prepping for this segment, Nneka, Shanae said, well, why don't you take like the serious stuff? And then I got some stuff for Nneka. So, Shanae, are you going to make an entrance back there?
Oh,
What's going on?
We are family. I got my sister with me, and I am so proud of her. You guys know I can't keep a serious face when I'm talking about Big Sis. So she did the heavy lifting. It's time to have some fun because, Nneka, you know I have this segment called Shanae's Challenge because you have been balling. People call you Madam President because you are the president of the Players Association. You're averaging 18, 7, 2, and 50% shooting, which they try to stress me out because you know, Nneka, I don't like to mention these things to you because we don't want to jinx them. I'm literally going to knock on some wood real quick to keep it going, sis. 14 years strong. But this is Shanae's Challenge, sibling edition. Nneka, I'm going to ask you some basketball trivia. I might have a little personal touch, and you've got to answer. I believe in you. You ready? You ready?
Okay.
All right, Nemkati. Nneka, you are the 6th player to join the 7K club. Who was the player directly ahead of you? Now, here is the hint. She also formerly is called Madam President as well.
Oh, is it catch?
Ding, ding, ding! Ding, ding, ding! Tamika Catchings, absolutely 7,380. You just crossed over and have 7,075. Malika, yes, score. We undefeated so far. All right, Nneka, you also recently became number 7 on the all-time rebounding list. Who is number 1? Now, she is currently in the league and was traded, which cleared the path for someone that might look like you and have your last name to go to Connecticut in 2014.
Oh, this is Big T, right?
Big T name, government name, please.
Oh, Tina Charles.
We're 2 for 2. We're 2. I think you're gonna like this one. Best for last, okay? And I love this because I was there working the All-Star game. Nobody has made more shots than you, my sis, in All-Star game history. Who did you pass? Now, I infamously guarded her my freshman year at Stanford.
You didn't even give me these hints. That's my
You want to give more context to that freshman matchup at Stanford, Nick?
I mean, yeah, you know, we were playing at Stanford and we wanted to continue our homestand of winning at Maples. Shanae had the incredibly, seemingly impossible task of guarding Maya. And when I tell you, Shanae knew when Maya was going to tie her shoe. It was that crazy. But we came out with a win. But of course, you know, it didn't come.
Okay, this is the opening possession. Wilson misses the layup, but don't worry, sticks with it.
If it's going to be one thing, Chelsea Gray is going to find her girl, especially when she's cutting to her strong hand, the left side.
Here, Chelsea Gray, though, with the miss, and then Wilson,
Come
the
on,
offensive
rebound,
gets
post up. And then here,
Wilson
my favorite word, and one, son.
gets that one to go. The Aces would enter the half with all of this tied up at 45. So to the third quarter we go here. Under 7 minutes left in the third. Aces up 1.
This ain't fair
Wilson
right here.
Gets it at the top of the arc. How does she do it?
Well, you should know. The left-hander's her strong side, but especially when she's going downhill, when you're not all up in her space, she's going to make you cook. Let her cook. Let her cook.
A few minutes later, the Aces up 2. Wilson, this is a theme with the miss and then sticks with it.
What I love is that she's playing with reckless abandon. Usually we know her for being perfect. You know, perfect, that's the type of thing she aspires to. Now she's going to show her teammates, we've got to scrap and claw, and she's really held it down.
What did you say about that Gray-Wilson connection?
It's unreal. Come on now.
Let her cook.
Less
Hey.
than 3 minutes left. The Aces up 7. Wilson catches it, drives, get the floater to go. 32 points, 20 rebounds. The first player to do that. Here she is after the win.
It's huge. Actually, Caroline was telling me that walking here. I didn't even know because, you know, as many greats as we have in this league, that's kind of a shocker that it's just not happening now. But, you know, it's a blessing. I love what I do. I love what I do. I love it so much. So anytime that I could come out and just play the basketball the way that I love it and the team and we're all getting involved, I'm happy with that. So it's pretty cool to have my name in the record books when it comes to that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot following up. So yeah, it's pretty cool to kind of be the first one.
It's kind of unbelievable. She was the unanimous MVP, and she's still playing at a level that is almost exceeding that. She's the first player with a 30-20 game, and she now has 6 games with 30 and 15, tying a W record, and is top 5 in points, in rebounds, and blocks this season. Shanae, even by Asia's standard, this is incredible. How is she reaching new heights?
We are back. The gang is back together. And in the words of Kendrick Perkins, hello, world. Let me talk nerdy to you. It's Asia's world, and we just living in it. The first ever 30-20 game in W history. The Connecticut Sun had 23 rebounds. That woman right there with the good old hair, she had 20 on her own. The pink is always cute. I love what she does on media days. Let me show you. Let me break it down, because to me it was her effort off the dribble that separated. She's an excellent screener. They reject the screen. Look at the handle. Crossover. She's sizing. Tina Charles, a legend of the game. Tough fadeaway. Gets that one to go. I saw multiple possessions where she was going one-on-one and just cooking. You got to send the help. Send the double team. But then she can also do bad all by herself. Watch this. How many people are in front of her? The whole entire squad. It's not just the Sun. The entire universe that's trying to slow down A'ja Wilson. Instead, she gets to her strong hand. Tough finish. So many and one. She just plays fierce, ferocious. You see that left. She's showing it off. The last 12 games, they've won 9 of them. So they are heating up at the right time, Malika, and A'ja Wilson. She's going to be a player, and also this team, that no matter what their record and the standings is, you don't want to see them come postseason time.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It felt like we were talking about whether they were even going to make the playoffs or not.
I know.
A far cry
These are words.
from that. It was the performance of the night in Vegas.
Wow.
Last night was the game of the night in LA. Our girl had a front row seat
I
to
can't
this
stand
one.
y'all.
We're going to pick it up here. Nneka Ogwumike in the paint.
I was talking to Sis after the game. I was like, that left was clean, Sis. Yo, I was in my feelings and my emotions. What a great game.
So it's all tied up here at 89. The final seconds here. De'Erica Hamby finishes with the right-hand layup.
Yeah, that's her go-to, getting down to the right. Dominique Malonga has come on strong. Brittany Sykes, this move had me out of my seat. Slim, what a great addition from the Storm to try to give them a boost. Ooh, got him.
Slim finished with a game-high 27. The Storm tie it at 91. But watch Hamby here, though.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. My girl loves driving right. That's against a long defender, and this is what the Sparks have been, literally sparking their good resurgence in the second half of the season.
Hamby would sink the free throw, so LA up by 3. You bet that LA gets the win in this one. A real thriller. And with all of that, this is where the WNBA standings are coming off of the weekend. Let's just take some inventory here. The Lynx way out in front. The Aces, they're on a heater. Their latest run here has them running up the standing. The Sparks, they're now a half game back of 8. Remember, the top 8 teams, they all go on to make the playoffs here. But